Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Huddle.
Where we talk about football.
And this is the last week. Actually, no, we have next week too. And the week after that. But this is entering the last week of the NFL season. It is Super Bowl Sunday coming up this Sunday. I think it's February 11th. Yeah.
Something like
Yep.
that. Yep.
February 11th.
And this was the first week without like an actual game in September. So
yeah, last week we went over the conference championship games. Had the not so grand idea of bringing our friend Connor onto the podcast. Not sure if we're gonna bring him back on or yet.
we might. He might make a small appearance.
Right. But yeah, that's what happened last week. This week we are kind of back to normal. Some stuff happened in the world of Seattle and Steelers. That for today's playbook we have the NFL news. Trash talk. We're bringing back the CPAC reacts, only for the Seattle part, though.
Hey, there's some Packers news.
There is some
quick mention.
We're gonna go into our award predictions. NFL honors, or NFL awards is this Thursday. And then we're gonna go into our Super Bowl predictions as a complete breakdown of statistics and box score for that game. Then we're gonna wrap it up with the Steel Curtain session. We're gonna bring that back for some big news that has happened this past week. So, without further ado, Elijah, I think there's only one or two things for our news this week, but go ahead.
All right, let's start out with the Washington Commanders. They hired
football team. I mean,
actually, Cliff Kingsbury was supposed to be the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, but he backed out, and now he is being hired for the coordinator of the Commanders. And then that means that Eric Bieniemy will be fired. So yeah, that should be interesting. And
surprising move, honestly.
Yeah, but that brings up questions. Are they going to try to get Caleb Williams, who Cliff Kingsbury has worked with last year?
Right.
We'll see.
That's true. Well, and I think too. I don't know. I think this happened right after we recorded last week's episode. But if you don't know, Dan Quinn was hired as the new head coach of the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
So
they do have some solid coaches right there.
Right. And he's a defensive-minded guy, so to get a guy that we've seen glimpses of the level that Kingsbury can coach at. I like the move a lot. I think whatever quarterback ends up being drafted, is it still sticking with Sam Howell? Is it going to be Drake May, Caleb Williams? Depending on what happens in the draft, I think we could see a Commanders offense that could really thrive next season.
Yes, I agree. And then why don't you take away the next one? Because obviously this is something that's important to you.
Well, I was going to keep it for
last.
Reacts.
Oh, you want that last? All right, then.
Yeah, I was going to.
I might as well just be the end of it then.
Yeah, so that's our news for the week. So let's move right on. It is time for trash talk. Well, is there even... I don't think there's trash talk.
Oh, there's trash talk.
You did make some.
I did make a trash talk. All right.
This is basically the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, for the Pro Bowl. First off, nobody cares. And then second...
Kind of like that new album Taylor Swift is dropping.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody cares.
Also, I just wanted to say that even the Pro Bowl refs suck. And that's actually all I have for the Pro Bowl weeks. Really? All right, now we can move on from that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
that's it.
Well, great. It's leaving plenty of time for our other more important parts of this episode. So let's get into it, Elijah. Award predictions for the 2023-2024 NFL season. Let's start it off with Offensive Rookie of the Year. Who do you have taking home that award on Thursday night?
Well, I just want to go back to, real quick, what I had originally predicted in the...
I was going to do that too.
Yes, I had Bijan Robinson as my Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I do not have that now. I do have probably, I think it's arguably the best offensive rookie, and it's CJ Stroud.
Yep.
And that's my pick.
Elijah, I was identical with you.
Nice.
I had Bijan winning Offensive Rookie of the Year before the season started. Postseason now, CJ Stroud will win it. And I think a lot of people may disagree with this take that we're taking CJ Stroud over the likeness of Puka Nacua. But the thing about CJ Stroud was you saw him in the Offensive Player of the Year race, you saw him in the MVP race.
Yeah, he did.
So if you're not going to give him those awards, you can't just skip over him in the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. And
And I think
obviously,
that's
Puka was amazing. He broke records.
undeniable.
But
Like,
there was
you know,
quarterback is a different story than wide receiver, and I think
right.
CJ Stroud could be ranked one of the top quarterbacks of this year as a rookie. So,
And now you can make the argument that Puka was a top receiver as well, which you can.
you're right. No,
But
you're right.
honestly, it kind of worked out for Stroud in a way that so many quarterbacks were hurt this year that it really let him shine over a lot of veteran quarterbacks. So
Sure.
for both of us, yes, CJ Stroud wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep. Does that take us to? Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Defensive Year.
takes us to defensive rookie. I started out with Will Anderson Jr. While I do think that is still a very good possibility, he did have a good year. I do want to pick Jalen Carter because I just feel like he had a little bit better of a year, and he fell a little bit in the draft, not that far, but still, and he definitely proved himself on the Eagles, and I think he will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
As for me, it was a little biased, but I have Devin Witherspoon.
I knew that would happen.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he still is. He's still in the running. So, I mean, he had a fantastic year, but I completely agree with you. Will Anderson had a good year.
Yep.
Jalen Carter just had a better season. He started off pretty hot, I think, and just, throughout the middle of the season when the Eagles had that kind of
Yeah.
late season crash, he didn't do great, but I think he still shined more than some other big names on that defense. And for that reason, I would award Jalen Carter the Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Agreed.
Moving on, Offensive Player of the Year. This is one that, I mean, plenty of people could win this award this year. Elijah, will it be a quarterback? What's your take?
So well, you said Offensive Player of the Year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started out with Justin Jefferson, which was my original prediction. Obviously, he got hurt. Still had a really good year, but this one's kind of tough because going off of like the rest of these, it's really like I'm picking like who I think should win rather than who I think will. There's a difference for me. Who I think will win is Tyreek Hill, but who I think should is Christian McCaffrey. He was just obviously the best offensive player on the field, and I think that he should deserve that award for this year. So that's me. How about you?
Yeah, preseason prediction was Jay Jettas. I thought Jefferson was going to win as well. Obviously, I mean, he was paced to have an incredible year throughout the first couple weeks of the season. He got hurt, and that kind of messed everything up. For me, I think personally Tyreek Hill should win it over Lamar and over CMC, and I think that's who will end up winning it. So Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, winning Offensive Player of the Year. Moving on, Elijah, go ahead.
All right.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Again, this is another one. Like I said, all these are just going to be who I think rather than, or who I think should rather than I think
Right.
will. Because I think Myles Garrett will get it because the NFL is dumb. But
Say that again, please.
the NFL is dumb, and
Okay.
I started out with Defensive Player of the Year in my offseason predictions, TJ Watt, and that will be the same for this year. TJ Watt should get Defensive Player of the Year with leader in sacks. I mean, fumble recoveries, picks, all of that. He's just the best defensive player in the NFL, and I think he will be for the next couple of years now. So,
Yep, he is miles. I mean, miles
Myles Garrett.
over Myles Garrett.
Oh,
in
that's good. That's
parts.
nice.
I wasn't trying to give.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a bigger distance between TJ and Miles and Parsons.
Wow.
If that makes any sense.
Would you consider at all Max Crosby? I know we haven't gotten to your pick, but I'm just going to say you're probably not picking Max
No.
Crosby. But would you?
No, not necessarily. I think he's overlooked. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the NFL because it's the Browns and the Cowboys who For some reason, the NFL just loves to like.
I know. Even
I
Madden.
mean, they both and Madden too, and they suck every year. They
Yeah.
suck, and that's coming from a 9-8 Steelers fan or 10 and whatever. But still, every single year it is. Gosh, the Cowboys, this is our year, and the Browns. Oh, they're gonna make a comeback. They're the underdogs now. They suck.
No.
They always will suck, and
Yep.
they still suck. But for me, I had Fred Warner winning it.
Wow.
You don't usually see a middle linebacker taking home that award. We haven't seen it for the last couple of years. It's usually a guy getting an insane amount of sacks.
Yep.
And the man who did end up leading the league in sacks this year was TJ Watt. And I think he will take home the Defensive Player of the Year award this season. He was inevitably the best defensive player in the league this year. You look at the stats, he's either tied or better than what Myles Garrett and both Parsons had. So if we're talking realistically, freak of nature defender that actually puts up the stats to back it up, even though he missed games and still produced better than half of the other guys, yeah, TJ Watt's winning it. I would honestly argue Trey Hendrickson deserves the defensive rookie or defensive player of the year award over Parsons or Garrett.
Wow. Wow.
That's because I'm also a Bengals fan. So
You are a Bengals fan. All right. Why don't you take the next one? Comeback player of the year. You
yeah,
start out.
so this for me is who should win it compared to who will win it.
Okay.
I believe 80-year-old man eating potato chips on his couch winning or getting a playoff appearance, Joe Flacco deserves the comeback player of the year. I would even argue Tua deserves it over who I think will win it is Damar Hamlin. I mean, dude, like, I don't want to take away from the fact that the guy did die on a football field and then came back a couple months later to play in the NFL. I'm not taking away from that at all. But the comeback player of the year award is who was hurt or out of the league or whatever and comes back and makes the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Now you can say, oh yeah, DeMar made an impact. Great. Cool. Who made the biggest impact statistically and on that field? Who made the biggest impact? And to me, it's Joe Flacco.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do think Joe Flacco deserves it. And this one that I'm going to do is actually what I think is going to happen. And I do pick Damar Hamlin here. But yeah, I think Joe Flacco definitely deserves it more. But again, this guy died. He came back. He he made a playoff appearance on a fake punt, and you know what? It didn't go anywhere, but that's amazing to just about everyone, I guess.
Right.
So I think he deserves it. No, yeah, I do have him as the comeback player of the year. And my original offseason was Deshaun Watson. Crazy enough.
Mine was Tua.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Deshaun honestly could be in the running for comeback player of the year for the next 7 years until that contract runs out. The contract that Connor somehow knew how much money it was.
Yeah. Honestly, I wasn't that far off because like Joe Flacco, Browns, Deshaun Watson. So I think you
Not
give me
at
a little
all.
bit of credit.
Not at all.
It wouldn't have been possible if Deshaun Watson didn't get hurt.
Right.
So,
And I just think too, I think it's funny. Joe Flacco was poverty on the Jets. And he still was bad in that playoff game with the Browns. So basically, if you're a quarterback for the Browns or Jets, it is a graveyard. So say goodbye to your career. All right, let's move on. Coach of the year. We're not doing that. Assistant coach of the year. The NFL is just trying to be too inclusive now.
Yeah, no.
About assistant coaches. Screw that.
Yeah.
We want
obviously you'd be Matt Canada anyway, so
exactly right.
Everyone knows.
That's what I'm saying. But coach of the year, Elijah, who's winning it, or who should, or who will, whatever.
Yeah. I have D'Amico Ryans because obviously the Texans were bad for a while, and this guy turned them around with as young as a team as they are. CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, all those young guys making a way. So I do think D'Amico Ryans will win this one. So yeah. Oh, and I originally had Nick Sirianni. And
And he almost lost his job.
yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, I originally had Zach Taylor,
Oh my
best
god.
coach in the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it'll either be Kevin Stefanski, who took a bum injury-ridden team to the playoffs,
Yeah.
even though I honestly don't think Stefanski's that great of a coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Um,
I mean, he's been the best coach for the Browns in like forever, so
Freddie Kitchens is better than him. I don't know what you're
yeah, yeah, okay.
talking. Never mind. Okay. But for me, I think realistically, D'Amico Ryans deserves Coach of the Year award. I
Yeah.
mean, to look back and know that you held the Ravens for a half with by far one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and like the video of him walking into
Yeah.
the locker room afterwards, he just kind of stood out there and just watched
Yeah.
wow, we just accomplished all that in a season.
Yeah.
Stefanski had to go cry home because he lost to this team.
Yeah.
So undoubtedly, D'Amico Ryans deserves Coach of the Year.
Yes, sir. Or I mean, there's always Dan Campbell too. We kind of forget about him, but
Yeah,
I just
I
think
think
that end of
so.
the
I
season
mean,
he was making some dumb decisions. So I still think D'Amico.
obviously, and
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if they already have the votes in or not for the NFL. I would assume maybe
Um,
because
I
it's
don't
the
know.
players and coaches that vote on it.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm pretty sure a lot of it's based on like how you do in the postseason too.
Right,
So I don't know.
which that is the reason behind my MVP.
Yeah.
I think for both of us.
Yeah.
So Elijah, without further ado, your MVP for this season is.
Drum. Actually, let me start out with my original.
Oh yeah.
Brock Purdy. Believe it or not, I'm
You're
pretty.
nuts. You
Was
are
he still in
pretty.
the? I think he
He's
might still be in
yeah,
the
no,
race.
he is. It's him.
So I mean,
It's
look
I
at me,
think Tyreek,
Josh Allen.
Purdy, Josh Allen, Lamar,
Yeah.
and CMC.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep,
So
you're still
yeah.
nuts. And a fry is not. It's the only thing Brock Purdy is winning is that tennis tournament and a fries.
That's crazy. So this guy, I think again, we keep saying it, but this isn't the guy who probably will, who I think will, which Lamar Jackson would be the guy who probably will. This is a guy who I think should. He's been the best player in receiving and rushing, obviously. This is what he mainly does. So my MVP.
You could still technically be talking about Lamar.
Yeah, no, you're right. And receiving. Maybe I am. No. Obviously, the guy who I am going to pick for NFL MVP 2023 to 2024 is Najee Harris. Yeah. Woo!
That's not what you wrote. I think I
Oh.
see Joe Barry
Oh,
now.
no, 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 no,
No?
no, no, no. It's actually Christian McCaffrey is
There's
my
the McCaffrey
MVP.
POC. Uh,
Yeah. Obviously, I think I've been saying it all year. So yeah, that's my MVP.
all right. As for me, I thought Joe Burrow was winning MVP this season.
You're dumb.
My goodness.
Stupid. He wasn't even in the race for it. His stats were so bad this year.
My
Oh my god.
like these award predictions sucked. My playoff predictions kind of sucked, but like me and Elijah we'll get into this later, but we're gonna have a prediction episode, and my regular season predictions were good. So hopefully this prediction is good. Anyways, CMC is winning the MVP this season.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it's not Lamar and it shouldn't be Lamar is because he has absolutely zero excuses. He got the receivers he wanted. He had debatably the best defense in the league, and he's still just making dumb mistakes. Regardless if you believe that was a PI or not, you're not throwing in the triple coverage with your backup tight end. You're not doing that. If you're really a quarterback, you're just not doing that. I'm not even making this decision. I saw Isaiah Likely raise his hand, and I'm like, don't throw the ball, Lamar. Like that's not a good decision.
No.
So I'm not trying to base his entire season. I think he had a great season, but I don't think there's been a man who's done it better than in the past couple of years. Honestly, since he stepped foot in the league his rookie year, Christian McCaffrey. He is one of the most athletic, one of the most versatile, and honestly, I just think one of the best players in the NFL. And I think he deserves the MVP this season. So Christian McCaffrey for both me and Elijah, that is your MVP for the season.
Yes. So nice. Let's go on to our Super Bowl predictions.
Unless
Oh.
you want to do a CPAC react.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna start.
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't done one in a while. Jeez. So the Seahawks hire Mike McDonald as their new head coach.
Who did he used to? What team was he on last?
I think some like poverty franchise, some team that like doesn't win Super Bowls. Yeah. Anyways, we're not going to talk about his past because the past is in the past. But welcome to the Emerald City. I am thrilled. I love this guy. I think he's definitely going to help turn around the franchise a little bit. I'm really excited to see what happens. We got a very young team, a team that could use some work, especially a quarterback. But honestly, I think this was the right move. And also, the Seahawks are apparently hiring what's his face? Jay Harbaugh, the son of Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh, and he will be the special teams coordinator.
Oh wow.
For the Seattle Seahawks. So now there will be 3 Harbaugh coaches in the NFL.
That's crazy.
And guess what?
What?
My special teams is going to be better than yours.
I mean, I cannot disagree with that.
So that is your C react of the week,
react.
Elijah. I don't know what you had to talk about.
Let's go to the pack react. We got a new defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah. Right.
Jeff Halfley from Boston College. That's it. I don't really know too much about the guys. I'm assuming it should be better than what Joe Barry was. So that's all I got. Thank you. CPAC React. That's it.
Yep. And that will be it until something else big happens.
Yes. Until Aaron Rodgers returns to the Green Bay Packers. Or Russell Wilson to the Seattle Seahawks.
I would take that.
Yeah.
Now, Elijah, it is time for stat lines.
Nice. Ooh, I like that name. We should just call let's call this session stat lines. I like that.
Oh, okay, I like that too. Or like little lines or something.
Yeah. Something.
Sounds like a sports book.
Yeah. All right.
But we're not. We can't even gamble.
No.
Kids don't gamble. It's not good for you.
We're due. Who cares? The NFL does actually. So
Roger Goodell definitely does it. It's okay. Anyways, Super Bowl predictions. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Let's just start it off with
the Super Bowl
quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
Take it away, Elijah.
Yeah. So let me get to mine real quick. Patrick Mahomes. He will have 250 passing yards. Actually, I didn't feel like doing like exact like 256 or 257.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could do like over-unders.
Yeah, I was just gonna do like 250.
Maybe this is a sports book.
250 yards passing for Patrick Mahomes, 1 passing touchdown, 45 rushing yards with 1 rushing touchdown and an interception.
Okay.
And then Broccoli Purdy will have 275 passing yards with 2 passing touchdowns, 55 rushing yards, and 2 interceptions.
2 picks.
Yeah, 2 picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, Purdy, I have him going 27 for 39. He's going to have 278 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 rushes for 22 yards, and a touchdown. As for Patrick Mahomes, he'll go 24 of 32, 214 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns in the big game, 1 interception, 5 rushes for 37 yards. And I guarantee you at least 4 of those will come in the last drive of their Super Bowl.
Nice.
I guess I'll go back to back. This is running backs now. Who do we think will be the leading running backs? I think it'll be quite obvious. Christian McCaffrey will have 19 rushes for a whopping 113 yards, 1 touchdown, and then he will have 4 receptions for 30 yards and a touchdown on top of that too. So 2 score night for McCaffrey. As for Isaiah Pacheco, he will have 17 rushes for 73 yards. He will have 2 rushing touchdowns, and he will have 3 catches for 22 yards.
Nice. I got we'll start with Pacheco. 20 rushes, 105 yards on the ground, 1 rushing touchdown, and 50 yards receiving.
50.
Yeah, he's gonna be a big player in this game.
Even with that defense the Niners got.
Yep, it's because what receivers? I mean, it's just Rashee Rice or Travis Kelce. So
MVS, he kind of popped off.
Yeah, but how long will that last? And then
Kadarius Toney plays, he knows.
and then Christian McCaffrey, 15 rushes, 90 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, 65 receiving yards. He will also be big in this game.
Yeah, big night for your receivings, or your backs, running backs in the receiving game. Yeah.
Yep.
How about your top receivers?
So my top receiver for the 49ers will be George Kittle. 5 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. And he will be big in the end of the game, and I will explain that later. And then Travis Kelce, 8 receptions, 125 yards, no touchdown.
Holy crap, dude.
He will also be big at the end of the game. So that's what I got for my receiver.
All right. For my receiver, I'm going to tweak this real quick. I think Kelce will have 10 catches. Originally had 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he'll go up over 100 yards.
Nice.
I could imagine maybe 115 yards receiving. Still with those 2 touchdowns. Be a beast in the red zone. As for the Niners, their top receiver won't make an impact in the red zone, but will set up some big plays. Deebo Samuel will have 9 catches for 79 yards.
Nice.
Those are your offensive predictions for the stat lines. Elijah, give us some defensive insight for both teams.
Yeah, I didn't go too deep with these because I didn't feel like it. But for the Chiefs, well, I kind of did. For the Chiefs, I got L'Jarius Sneed. He has 4 tackles, 1 interception. He'll be big in this game. And then Chris Jones will have 2 sacks. And then for the 49ers, Fred Warner will have 1.5 sacks and 1 fumble recovery. And then Sean Gibson will have 1 interception.
So you're going like big name guys making big name plays.
Kind of, yeah, basically.
All right.
Yeah,
I respect it. For me, on the Chiefs side of the ball defensively, Chris Jones will have 5 total tackles. He will only have a half a sack and 1 tackle for loss. In the middle linebacker group, Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil have a combined 13 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Trent McDuffie will have the 1 interception on Brock Purdy. That game, he'll have 6 tackles. On the Niners side of the field, combined, Chase Young and Nick Bosa will have a combined 2 sacks. I don't know who's getting more or what, but they will also have a combined 2 tackles for loss. And then Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw will have a combined 18 total tackles together. They'll have 3 tackles for loss, and 1 of them will be getting an interception.
Nice.
So that is your stat line predictions. It is time for quarter by quarter predictions. Who's scoring, how many points, and our final predictions of who will be this year's Super Bowl champions. Elijah, quarter 1, what's happening?
So obviously it's going to start out 0-0. That's how all games start out, if you didn't know. But
I feel like somehow, some way, it would be the Packers. That would be the team to start off with like 2 points. Somehow.
Yeah.
Or at least 1.
But the first drive, the Chiefs go down and they kick a field goal. Harrison Butker will get that, making it 3-0. And then the 49ers will do the same thing. They also get a field goal, 3-3, Jake Moody. And then to finish it, Harrison Bucker will go back down and kick another field goal, making it 6-3. And then to end the quarter, Christian McCaffrey will run and get a 10-yard rushing touchdown to make it 10-6, and that will be your first quarter score.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the first 15 minutes of the game, it will be a tied 7-7. Christian
Oh.
McCaffrey will have a rushing touchdown to open the night. Or, actually, no, I think Travis Kelce
Oh.
is going to open the night scoring with a receiving touchdown. Then McCaffrey will tie it up at 7-7 after one.
Nice.
Moving into the second quarter,
Let's hear it.
I got San Francisco scoring 10 points compared to a Kansas City 7. Brandon Ayuk will have a touchdown, whether that be running the ball or receiving it in the end zone. I would honestly be expecting a huge play out of him at some point throughout the night. So maybe I don't know, 60-some yard bomb down the field to Ayuk, gets a touchdown. He will score San Francisco's touchdown in that quarter, and Isaiah Pacheco will have a rushing touchdown. Final score after the first half, 17-14. San Francisco still with the lead.
Close game. Going into the second quarter, Isaiah Pacheco will get a rushing touchdown, 3-yard rushing touchdown as the Chiefs drive down the
3 yards.
field.
Yeah.
They drive down the field. Pacheco gets a rushing touchdown. And then the 49ers are starting to drive, but Brock Purdy throws an interception, which leads to a Patrick Mahomes 10-yard rushing touchdown to make the score 20-10. And then finally,
I heard Mahomes running touchdown, and I just saw Mahomes running. It made me want to throw up.
yeah. And then Harrison Bucker will end the half with a field goal, making the score 23-10 Chiefs.
Dang.
Yes.
20.
Yes.
Honestly, when I'm thinking about this, I feel like San Fran is going to come out hot, and it's going to be a Chiefs comeback.
Nice, but that's not how I'm going.
Okay.
It's gonna be an interesting one.
For my quarter 3, Moody kicks a field goal of the only points of the quarter.
Oh wow!
As the Chiefs have an average of 7 points a quarter, which I hate that so much. I don't think that's like realistic at all.
Could be.
I feel like there has to be a field goal in there somewhere. But after the third quarter, the Chiefs take their first lead of the night. I guess at the end of a quarter, as they will be up 21-20 over the 49ers.
Wow. Nice. Still very close. We're in the third quarter, right? Yeah, third quarter. So the score was 23-10, and then there is a 25-yard passing touchdown from Brock Purdy to Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a name that everybody would expect to have a big play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wanted to have Ayuk be a big part, but I didn't. And then the score will be 23-17. And then the Chiefs are going back down the field, but a pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling is fumbled, and that is where Fred Warner comes in, and he returns that ball. And then that, not for a touchdown, but that leads to a 15-yard rushing touchdown from Christian McCaffrey, making the score 24-23. And then the Chiefs, they want to score again in this third quarter, but Mahomes throws an interception to Gibson, and that will end your third quarter.
You even have the interceptions and turnovers. Jeez.
I want the big moments in the game. So
I forgot to say that Kelce will have the touchdown.
Nice.
In the first one, or I guess in the third quarter.
Nice.
Last but not least, in the fourth quarter, San Francisco will put up 10 points, bringing their total to the night for 30. Moody will have his second field goal of the night. I think he'll go 2 for 3 on field goals.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I wanted to have a missed kick, but it just didn't make sense.
I think it'll happen. A missed kick by Moody. And Christian McCaffrey will score his second touchdown of the night. We've seen it happen multiple times. Let me put this. So they're driving down the field, maybe a punt or two. Maybe that's when an interception happens by either of the quarterbacks, fourth quarter. Either way, the Chiefs will score on a touchdown from MVS. Valdez-Scantling will have a reception for a touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. Jeez. And so that will make it 28-20. 49ers go down the field, kick a field goal. So it's 28-23. After some back and forth, Christian McCaffrey will have that late touchdown that he's been kind of having like the last 85 games of his career. Um, he's going to score probably about a 13-yard rushing touchdown, maybe more, maybe 20 yards, which will then make it 30-28. Which the Lions elect to. Jeez, dude. The 49ers elect to kick the extra point. Don't go for two. Don't play it risky.
Nice.
Even though they should have. Because on the last drive, Isaiah Pacheco will be the hero. He will score a touchdown.
Woo!
Leaving the final score, even though I hate it, I think it's going to happen. Chiefs win in a neck-and-neck game in an absolute thriller. 35-30. Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions.
Nice. Whew. That was a close game throughout. Man, they got my heart racing there. So going into the fourth quarter, the 49ers start with the ball because they did just get an interception off of Patrick Mahomes. But they don't do anything. They just punt the ball. And then that gets the Chiefs to another field goal, making the score 26-24 from Harrison Butker. And then the next drive, Brock Purdy throws a 55-yard passing touchdown to Jorge Kittle. And now that's a huge part of this game. That puts the 49ers back up 31-26. And then the Chiefs don't do anything again. And then the 49ers get Brock Purdy stepping back again. He throws the ball, a nice 45-yard touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. But wait. It is taken back because of a holding call.
What are you talking about?
There is a holding call.
Breaks the field after being held hostage in the stadium jail. Andy Reid accused him of stealing his burger before the game.
So there is a holding call. And it's this dumb holding call. It should not have been called, but it was. So the touchdown was taken back, and the 49ers do not do anything. So the ball is punted back to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes drives down the field, and he has a 15-yard passing TD to who other than Justin Watson. And that puts the score at 32-31, and the Chiefs decide to go for two, and they do get it to Travis Kelce for a 2-point conversion, making the score 34-31. The 49ers, they got to go down the field in the fourth quarter. Brock Purdy, he's making throws left and right. He's running down the field. They get to the 35-yard line of the Chiefs, and he throws a pick to Justin Reid, and that will end the game.
Justin Reid.
34-31 Kansas City Chiefs. And actually, here's another prediction I had, 22-13, both Taylor Swift's numbers. And I think that is a really realistic prediction for the game.
Yeah. So after all that, I mean, I think both teams are putting up over 30 points. So it should be a 60 to 70 point range Super Bowl, which is nuts. Both very high-powered offenses. And I think the Chiefs' defense has so much momentum going into this game, too, compared to a Niners defense who struggled a lot recently. I would just like to add, obviously, I didn't really talk about Kittle much. I think he will be a big part in this game, as he always is. Would not be surprised if he does have a touchdown in this game. Just kind of saying the main guys I think that will have the biggest impact. So, biggest impact, Elijah. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Who's winning Super Bowl MVP?
Well, everyone thinks that it should have been Isaiah Pacheco, but Patrick Mahomes will get the award because of his final drive.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be mostly to Travis Kelce, and then obviously the Justin Watson touchdown. But yeah, Mahomes.
I'm going to do it on a limb here.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to say Donna Kelce for being the first mom to have each of her sons win a Super Bowl in back-to-back seasons.
Wow.
That seems like such an ESPN stat that they would do during the game.
That sounds right. But
Super Bowl MVP, man, I think it's got to be Mahomes. I mean, you just can't doubt him.
Nope.
for as much as I would love to see it be Pacheco, and honestly, I'd love to see Nick Bolton or Trent McDuffie win it if McDuffie gets like a pick six or something. That was one thing. Neither of us had defensive touchdowns, so
Nope.
I think Mahomes will win Super Bowl MVP, and you just can't doubt him in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. I think if the score does end up being 22-13, they'll just give the MVP to Taylor Swift because I feel like that just makes sense.
And I think the most important part is say everything goes great for the delusional people of the earth.
Yeah.
And us normal people that have to suffer and watch Taylor Swift throughout the Super Bowl. Just say Taylor Swift makes the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Will Patrick dude,
Oh.
what on earth would Travis Kelce propose?
Will he propose to Taylor
after the game?
Again, I just think it has to do with the situation. If the score is 22-13 Chiefs.
Oh my gosh.
I do think that is the perfect moment for Travis Kelce to propose. No, realistically, no, he's not proposing. I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah.
Great. I don't think it should happen either.
Here's a more important. Is Rob Gronkowski making the kick of destiny? What is your final prediction on that? Because I feel like that is probably more important. I think people care more about that than they do the actual Super Bowl
game.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting closer to the game, I'm kind of excited for it, even though I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right. Anyways, Rob Gronkowski making the kick of destiny. It's Rob. Why not? Yeah, Gronkowski. He's making it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Or I feel like John Cena is going to come out of nowhere. He was in that commercial too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just going to come out of nowhere and something's going to happen. Maybe he'll kick it and make it. But there's going to be something crazy in that commercial. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I agree. So after that, let's move on to here we go.
Steelers. Wow, I missed this.
Yeah, I know. This has been a minute. Here we go.
Pittsburgh's going to the
Super Bowl
next year.
All right. If you didn't already know the news, the Steelers have hired former Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator and former Falcons head coach over the past 3 seasons, Arthur Smith, to be their new offensive coordinator. At first glance, this looked like the dumbest move we could have ever made in our lives. Creepy man with a mustache replacing weirdo man that's bald.
Honestly, I like the mustache better.
But you look at the statistics he had as an offensive coordinator, not a great head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, was really a part of the Titans team when they were in their prime just a couple of seasons ago. So I can't say I hate this move. Elijah, what are your thoughts on it? How is this going to affect us in our running game and passing game over the next season?
Yeah, unlike most Steelers fans, I absolutely love this hire.
I like it.
When I originally heard it being talked about, I mean, obviously I was kind of like, eh. But then once they actually hired it, I'm like, actually, this could be really good. And I still feel like that is the case. Obviously, the Steelers' way is, running the ball a lot. That's how it's been for a while.
Right.
And I think this is a great fit for that because when he was a Tennessee Titans OC, he was really good. Derrick Henry had an amazing year, and I think Najee Harris is very comparable to Derrick Henry. And then obviously Ryan Tannehill was kind of a not so great quarterback, but when he was putting up good stats with Arthur Smith, and I'm looking forward to that with either Kenny Pickett, I don't know, a rookie quarterback, or Mason Rudolph. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of promise with this. Yeah, I've been using the Falcons playbook on Madden a lot just to see what it's like. It's okay, but obviously it's not the same as NFL. But really, I do like this one a lot, and I think he's bringing in some guys too for other positions in coaching. So I think it's new. It's going to be better than Matt Canada because obviously anything was better than Matt Canada. We could have had AB calling the plays, and it would have been better than Matt Canada. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be different, hopefully. And I think we might do well next year. Maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, why did you send me something on Instagram while we're recording?
It's mean. Yeah, because I was completely paying attention to everything just there. No, I was trying to find a stat for something Steelers posted earlier about Jalen Warren. Obviously, the running game should completely improve if we cut our core of four,
Yeah.
get him out of the team, please. Thank you. But no, if a lot of people say that we will end up taking Mims, that other tackle from Georgia, I think that could really boost our run game, especially with a guy like Arthur Smith now
Yeah.
at the reins of the offense. I think this will be a great season for Connor Hayward and a terrible season for Deontay Johnson and George
Yeah,
Pickens.
that's what I was worried about is our receivers because I was
No,
trying
but
to look at some stats for like AJ Brown and who was it, Corey Davis at the time too.
yeah, which I think kind of resemble almost like Corey Davis is more of that speedy slot guy, which
Yeah,
we can see with Deontay, and then AJ Brown. Obviously, Pickens isn't that big, stocky receiver like he is,
yeah,
but still strength and incredible route running. So, well, sometimes good route running.
yeah,
Great hands, but I think the way we saw that Titans offense work, I think there will be plenty of deep shots down the field if we see some growth in Kenny. So we're not going to get too deep into that now. We got the entire offseason to talk about what the season means for Kenny Pickett,
yeah.
but
I
that's
do.
it.
I do have one thing real
Oh,
quick.
yeah, go
Just
ahead.
just talking about Arthur Smith. You talked about earlier Mike Tomlin not or needing to step away from like the old way of NFL, and that's he still kind of seems like he's sticking with that, with the old Steelers way, just trying to run the ball more. Like
I think the first step forward was him saying we're not taking from within.
okay, yeah, no, you're
And
right.
that was when I was kind of like, okay, Tomlin woke up a little bit.
Yeah,
Baby steps. And I'm not saying ditch the entire thing.
no, yeah,
Um, I mean, I've said it already. The main losses we had this season, I'm blaming on Mr. Trubisky because they were his
really,
fault. Like they literally were his fault. Um, if Mason Rudolph was playing, I guarantee we probably would have won those games or at least pick it.
yeah,
Um, so those times that we were angry and saying, Tomlin should be done, whatever, blah blah blah. I think I'm not saying completely abandon the tradition of the Steelers, but it's time. I mean, this is going to be the third season we have a new stadium name. It's going to be the third season we got a new quarterback.
yep,
It's time. We have to be a new team.
yeah,
We have to. It's not like push the restart button, but we have to find our new identity. We're not that 08 defense anymore. We're just not. We can't do it anymore because the league cries whenever KZ hit a receiver. It's
yeah.
completely. I mean, we're not Big Ben that like just could not be taken down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new team now, and I think we're starting to realize that, and I think we're starting to get a vision of what we need to do. But if
I,
it's not, if there's not a playoff win within the next two seasons, at least next season, there's got to be some things that need to change.
yeah, I was gonna say, at what point do we hit the restart button? Like, if this year's not what we're expecting, do we wait another year or?
If this year's not, and I don't want to get into the draft at all,
Yeah,
but if you're looking at a quarterback, this is the year to do it. Unless we want to wait for Arch Manning and just tank.
that's
But
true.
the year we absolutely, if we say we do trash next year, which our schedule looks mid,
Mm-hmm.
not sure. It depends how this offseason goes, but um, just depending on everything. If Pickett's done and Tomlin struggles, both need to leave, and we need a new quarterback and a new coach. Like I've been saying, what the Texans did, which hopefully the Commanders do, what the Seahawks might do. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see, but I think these are the baby steps we need to take if we're making the right, going in the right direction right
yeah.
now.
And speaking of old, as we were talking about, Le'Veon Bell return to the Steelers, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely not. We have a great backfield right now with our top two running backs. So, not sure what he's on right now, but
Probably that same weed he's been smoking for a long time.
for every game. No, but I mean, if he came back in an advisory role of the running back collection of athletes, Sure, whatever. Anything to make him happy.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think Tomlin's
No.
the most open, like, oh my gosh, we love you, we miss you so. No, he's going to be
It's-
like, we do not care. And,
It's the same as it's the same as it was with AB whenever
right.
he was talking about coming back.
I can just see wide-eyed Tomlin, right? We do not care. So, no, I don't think Bell is going to return. I mean, he said the same thing earlier this season, too.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it's not happening.
Nope.
All right. I think that's it. This was a long episode, but a great episode, a very packed episode. But ladies and gentlemen, these are your Super Bowl predictions.
From the Huddle.
Yeah, I think depending on how we want to do it, I think we're gonna have at least 1 or 2 episodes left of the season of season 2. We got some awesome things planned.
Yeah.
So once the off season hits officially, that will mark the start of season 3.
Yes.
And we have some fun things planned already.
Nice.
Maybe you'll finally see what we look like.
Yeah, or you just keep imagining.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might be better
that
for you.
I'm so much more pretty than Elijah is.
Oh yeah, you definitely are prettier than me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Levi Jenkins, alongside my best friend Elijah Coer, and we've enjoyed the season with you guys.
Yes.
Yep.
No.
And just remember,
we hate all 18 of you.
Yeah, all 18. Subscribe and like. Jeez.
Do that maybe, if you want to. You don't have to.
And like Taylor Swift just so happily misses the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Too bad. So sad. We'll cry. No, we won't.
No, after that, yeah, we'll cry tears of joy. Rivers of joy. My goodness.
I don't know about you.
I'm
honestly
feeling
wouldn't be
22.
surprised
if the stadium opens up from the heavens above and the jet just lands on the. Oh my god.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
So annoying.
Yeah.
All right.
Get out of
Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.
Talk about the Super Bowl.
Yep. Go Chiefs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it one last time.
Oh, peace again.
Yeah, okay.